Let's see what's going on here. Five of Pentacles, the underlying energy. Okay, this is not feeling like you don't have enough, right? There might have been a rejection of some kind, something that you were going for, and it's the poverty card. Emotional poverty, financial poverty, whatever it is, you just don't feel like you have enough. We're going into this week, there might be kind of that kind of scarcity and thinking like, what the hell do I actually have? The kind of thing that I think a lot of people don't say about the Five of Pentacles is that help is available. Help is available there, but sometimes we reject it because maybe there's like a price tag attached to it, right? You know, someone says that they'll help us, but then we're going to be like indebted to them for the rest of our lives. We have to kind of give them our firstborn child or something. It's that kind of energy sometimes. So there can be help available, but we just say, no, I'd rather do it alone. I'd rather go on my own. And that's where the rejection is. You reject the help, but there usually is some form of rejection here. Now, it's a general reading, so it can go both ways. Maybe you've rejected someone. It's interesting to me that the sun is the focus, because that's why I'm kind of harping on about the rejection of help, because you seem to see the potential in something. You seem to see the potential for great happiness in a situation. Now, it might be that you have a plan for a business or for a relationship or whatever, but it's like, I don't have the money yet, or I don't have the support yet. But whatever it is, I don't think you're willing to compromise on it. That's what the whole sun thing. There is this kind of level of optimism that comes in with the sun, which is pretty remarkable here with 2 5s sat on either side of it. So we've looked at the Five of Pentacles. Now we have the Five of Swords coming up as the pastor foundation. Remember, this is last week, last month, last year. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that it leads to where we are right now. And the Five of Swords, it's an argument, right? It's conflict. It's someone who's willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want. But it's usually seen as an empty victory because no one clearly wins here. But, you know, sometimes we're happy to pay the price for it. We're happy to pay the price. And that's kind of like a theme. Think about it. This person is willing to fight for what they want, to take this, even if it means losing the friends or losing whatever those people meant to him. It cost him something. Here, this person's willing to reject the help if it means they get to go. There's a level of independence here. Now, whenever fives show up, I always call them the agents of chaos, right? They are the agents of chaos because it feels very intense when they're happening. Now, I'm wondering if it's because you very clearly see where you're going. You very clearly know where you're going and you're not willing to compromise on that. That you've been through too much to kind of give up control or give up something at this point. That's coming through very strongly. There's a very determined energy in this reading. Very determined. We have 2 cards of illumination here. So it's not like you don't know. You know. You know what your truth is. Trying to see. I mean, that's just pretty... I don't even know the last time I saw the 2 5s like that on either side of the sun. That's pretty spectacular. Because if this wasn't here, this would be really... And it might be. It doesn't mean that you still can't feel this as intense, right? But it's here with we see the potential. And that's the sun. The sun is childlike joy. It's innocence. This is not just, you know, kind of winging it. This is, I know where I'm going. I know how I feel about this. When the sun shines, it reveals everything to us. You know, nothing is hidden. No effort is required to see what's there. That's how we see the potential. And that's how you know where you're going. Your focus, you're kind of like, your focus is directly, your blinkers on, screw this stuff that's happening on the sides. I know where I'm going. And you know, you do, because we have the Ace of Wands sat right underneath that, but I'll get to that in just a moment. Now, where does all of this lead? Well, we have the Knight of Swords coming up in the present. Like I said, that's your energy. That's air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But the thing with the Knight of Swords is he knows his truth. He knows what his truth is, and he's willing to act in his very spontaneous energy. He comes charging in out of nowhere, kind of blurts out his truth. So just going to say this, Gemini, you guys might be unleashing your truth on a few people. And it's not always the most pleasant of truths. It is the truth. It is the truth, but it's not always the most pleasant. I mean, it could be with the Five of Pentacles here. If someone's trying to offer you something and you're like, well, I don't need it. You know, I'm fine on my own. I'll take care of it. I'll do it myself. Because you know there's strings attached. That's what I was trying to say before. Price tag. Strings attached to whatever the help is or the offer is. Now, for others of you, I'll just say this because it can be flipped, right? It might be that you're in this situation and somebody else comes in, because the Knight of Swords can come in from anywhere. And that's someone that you kind of, if it's It doesn't mean that they're an air sign. They might have those kind of qualities. They come in and speak some truth to you. And the fact that it's swords coming up, Knight of Swords, you kind of connect to them. They're on your wavelength. This is someone that you can understand. But I think this, for most of you, this is you. You acting on your truth, speaking your truth, fighting for your truth, fighting for your beliefs. There's a very strong core belief here. Like, you cannot be budged from this. A very kind of resolute, very stubborn energy. Even though we don't have cards like the Emperor and stuff coming out, there's that kind of determination. Anyone who can still shine like the sun with this crap on either side, yeah, they know what they're doing. They know where they're going. They know what their truth is. And that's you. You know that. So where does this lead? If you speak your truth, act on your truth, go fight for your truth, what comes in? The Ace of Wands. Now, this is the beginning of something new. Aces are, yes, the opportunities that come in. And the Ace of Wands in particular, it can be a new project, a new creative venture, something that gets you really passionate, excited, and enthusiastic. It can be the second chance in a situation as well. It doesn't always have to be a brand new situation. But it's kind of like the fire comes back in, and you bring the fire, Gemini. You bring the fire. I see you guys doing it because you're the one that's blazing this kind of trail down the middle. Look at the colors here. You can see it. This all looks kind of drab apart from the moon there, but you know, kind of drab and grey and dark and stuff. And you're like, no, I know this. You're kind of lighting up the way. And you may get people telling you that, you know, you have no idea what you're doing, Gemini, but you do. Maybe that's why you have to speak your truth. Just tell people to shut up. I've gone through too much to stop now. Like, this changes a person when they go through that, especially if you're the one that was left without the swords. If someone did this to you, you're not ready for it to happen again. You're not ready for it to happen again. But remember, it's general. So if you did this to someone, that could be someone else speaking their truth now. But whatever comes out of this, I think for you, it works out really well because it's being lit up with all this energy down the middle. What's the advice? The advice is the Moon card. Now, the Moon card itself is also a card of illumination. But whereas the sun illuminates everything and it makes us happy and we can see the potential, we see the path ahead, the moon's the opposite. Everything's in shadow when the moon shows up. We can see part of the pathway, but we can't see all of it. Now, the bits that we can't see, that's the shadows. What's in the shadows? Well, our fears and our doubts tell us what's in the shadows. So I don't think there are actually any kind of literal shadows. The Moon card here, it's about, I think for you, it's about, can you walk this path on faith? And even if there are shadows, think about it. The sun's already shining here. It's illuminating everything. But you still, what's the doubt? Is it this? Is it because you're worried this will happen again? And I think the advice coming up with as the moon is trying to get you to, it's all well and good kind of fighting for what you believe in, starting something new, having passion, having excitement, having creativity, all of that. But when you choose your words, because the Knight of Swords can be blunt, you know, he can deliver, he's not very tactful in the way that he delivers his truth. Are you doing it from fear that this will happen again? It's like, I don't want that to happen again. If it's a new situation or a new person that you're dealing with and you kind of unleash all that on them because someone else did that to you. And the moon could be telling you that. It's saying, you know, trust your intuition on this, that they're not the same person. As long as you're kind of resolute and you stick to your truth, speak from your place of truth, you don't have to cut other people with your words. I kind of get that with the moon here. I'm going to pull a clarifier though for the moon. Let's see. So this is very intuitive energy. She's very intuitive. She comes from her heart space. And I think that's what it is. It's kind of asking you to kind of be a little softer in your approach, because that's the advice. It's all great. It's all good. Please do fight for your truth. You know, go for this. But if we're doing it because we've been rejected, you know, we see a path forward, and it's about being considerate. You know, you can speak your truth. You can say it in a million different ways, but you don't have to be harsh with it. You know, it's about being a little bit considerate in the way that you deliver the truth. She is kind, she is caring, she's nurturing, but she knows what her cup is worth. She knows what it's worth. So she's just not going to just hand it over to anyone, and trust in yourself that you're not just going to hand over your cup, whether that's the cup of love, friendship, whatever, you know, wherever you're coming from emotionally, because we have some very logical energy here, right? Very head oriented energy. We have passion, creativity all in the middle, but you still have some fears and doubts. And that's normal if you've been through the Five of Swords energy. So if you're dealing with someone new in a new situation, you know, it's about doing it with grace, coming from a heart space. It may not be that person's fault. It won't be. If it's a new person, it's not their fault. Whatever was done to you in the past, right? Spiritual connection. This relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. And received with love and appreciation. Receiving something lovingly from others is a way of showing love. Now, that might be it, right? That you're all on this kind of, I'm going to do this. I know where I'm going. I know what my potential is. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to do this. Then there's a spanner in the works. This may be that there's a connection with someone here. And that's what keeps you going, maybe. Even though there's crap all around you with this Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords energy surrounding the sun. Is that what's keeping you optimistic? Is that what's keeping you seeing the potential? Because you know you have this connection with someone. But maybe it throws you that, you know, you are so determined to be on this solo path and go forward and do what you want. And maybe the Queen of Cups is someone else that comes in. And that's what kind of throws you a little bit. You're confused by this. It may be that you say something to someone and you're expecting them to kind of retaliate and argue, because that's what used to happen in the past, right? There was an argument here and it's different now. You know, instead you meet a Queen of Cups type energy. And that's how there's this beautiful new beginning that comes in here. I love this reading, Gemini. It's so interesting. Yeah, a change in the wind. Now, a change in the wind, it is, you know, when we can sense something's about to shift, something is about to change. And whether that's because, you know, you believe that with that the sun showing up here, it's going to change. Or if you're going through this and the moon's that, oh my God, are things going to change? It is a little bit like the Tower card, but you kind of know it's going to happen. That's what a change in the wind is. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Even if you can sense a storm coming, even if you can feel something like that coming in, it never lasts, right? And it kind of feels like it kind of clears the air. You know, after a good rain where it kind of cleanses the world almost and it washes everything away. There's a shift coming in, you know, if you've been braced for impact, if you've been fighting for something, you've had kind of eyes forward, centered, focused on where you're going, you've taken all the steps, said everything you need to, and you're starting something new. Things are changing. Things are changing. And, you know, I'll say hats off to those of you that this message resonates with, because it's almost like you've kept going despite this. Like you've just not looked left, not looked right. You've just kept going forward. The sun is guiding me. I'm going to follow the sun. And like I said, for some of you, it's some connection that's kept you going, where you've had faith where, you know, other people wouldn't have had. It says, dear you, check in occasionally with yourself about your motives behind actions you plan on taking. See, that's what I mean. Don't do it from a place of, well, I got screwed in the past, I'm not going to let anyone do that now. Especially when you have an end game in mind. Is the source of your motivation desire or entitlement? Maybe you're drawn to a certain path because you think it will bring you a feeling related to the outcome you seek, like safety or wholeness. Know that you will see a reflection in the outer world of the motive that drives you forward. Do you need a motive? Can you simply be pulled in the direction your soul calls you toward joy, discovery, growth, or adventure? This is adventure, right? Participating in something compelling and meaningful without trying to define it. If you can step forward, surrender to whatever spirit has in store for you, you'll be amazed at how things turn out. Check your motives and hand them over to spirit. Everybody here wants the best for you. Life loves you more than you know. So there is that. I got a little bit of that here. And maybe that's the moon. That's trusting your intuition and the softer side, right? That you don't have to just cut someone down no matter what. It's about showing grace under fire. And I think you have done already. It's about going forward with that. And especially not, I'm just going to say this, and it might just be for one person, or maybe you're dealing with someone like this. There's a kind of sense of like vengeance here. If this was done before, I'm going to go fight for this and have vengeance. But this is not about that. This guy doesn't fight to kind of show someone else. He does it just to fight for his ideals, for his beliefs and stuff. It's not about cutting down anyone else. It's all about what his own thoughts and ideas are. He fights for himself, for his king, for his whatever, his beliefs. So I would just be very mindful of that, because otherwise, you know, it's amazing energy. Focus on this in the middle, and you have been. That's the whole point of this. You have been focusing on this kind of trail, the trail that you're blazing down the middle of your reading.